Good day, this is Tata Troncoseva. Today I'm doing a video on lukankasi, aka the devil. This is a viewer request, so I finally had the time to come around and do this video. Now, lukankasi is a very controversial topic in the religion Palomayombe. Plenty of arguments have taken place over lukankasi. With that being said, I want to make it clear that I do not claim to have the absolute truth. There are many Munansu spiritual houses, and because of this, there's many variations associated with the story of lukankansi. I, for one, always take this into consideration, and I respect every Munansu's take on lukankansi. With that being said, let's start with the original belief system of the Bantu people in Africa before the influence of the Europeans. The Bantu people come from the area known as the Congo. Their belief was Nsambia, or Nsambi, I call him Nsambi, was the creator god associated with pure white light. Lukankansi, also known as Lukambi, Lungambi, Nkari and Pemba, and Lukanzi, he is known as the darker side of Nsambi, the duality. You can't have good without evil, and vice versa. You can't have one without the other. That's like saying you can't have tall without short, front without back, etc., etc. Same concept. Then we have Kalunga. Kalunga is a neutral buffering force between Nsambi and lukankansi, trying to keep the balance of good and evil. Now, Nsambi is the god that lives on the white mountain made out of white clay, where the dead that pass over to the white light live. Now, lukankansi is the god of the underworld, where the sun never shines, and that is where the dead that weren't allowed to cross over to the white mountain reside. Now, Kalunga is represented by the ocean. That's where the gateway to both worlds resides, and where the souls of the people that don't want to go to the dark underworld, that's where they reside in penitence, waiting to turn their chance to cross over to the white mountain. And this concept, it's pretty real. I mean, we do believe in this concept. We believe that when we pass over, we must go to Kalunga, and she will judge you, whether you go to the White Mountain, the underworld, or you decide to stay in penitence. Now, the Bantu people were the first slaves to arrive in the New World. Eventually, the Yoruban people arrived as slaves also. And over time, they intermarried, which now there's two religions, Palomayombe and Santeria, had to coexist. And over time, the Yoruban people associated Kalunga with Jemayana Loco for a simple fact that they're all connected with the ocean. So they in turn, they turn Kalunga into a female entity, because before that, the Bantu people believed that lukankansi, Nsambi, and Kalunga were all male aspects. So, in essence, you have a very strong, smart woman standing in between two strong men, keeping the peace and the balance. Doesn't that story sound familiar? Now, lukankansi has his own hierarchy with many spirits that are subject to his will. There's one especially associated with lukankansi, and that's the Ndoki spirit. The Ndoki spirit is associated with hatred and vengeance. It's actually known as the devil spirit. That's how strong, evil, whatever the term you want to use is about that spirit. It's a strong spirit. A lot of people work with Ndoki. You could use that Ndoki for good or for bad. If you have your your energy connected with your spiritual cauldron, you have that strong connection, you're able to do that. Until then, I don't recommend that nobody goes even near that, because you can have very strong bad consequences. Now, lukankasi has very unique patipimbas or sigils, and most of them consist with cat fangs. Some have a single eye, others two eyes. But when it comes to messing around with lukakansi and his patipimbas, you gotta have the knowledge, the experience to know where to put the fuda, the gunpowder, certain spots. Because if you don't do that the right way, once you send out that work will come back. That spirit will come back after it goes out there. Does what it has to do. It will come back and it will tear your life apart. So just be very careful. Now, Luca Kansi is also he's associated with fire, especially the blue fire. When you have a very hot fire, when you see that blue flame, that's his essence right there. So when you work with him, you're trying to harness that blue flame. Now, Luca Kansi is also associated with the kini kini wooden dowel. That's the African dowel that you see that's it's like completely full of rusted nails. That right there, you harness the energy of Luca Kansi, but in turn, what you're putting in there is Indoki. Again, if you're not experienced enough, I recommend you stay away from work like that, because you're gonna be in deep trouble. I suggest in the meantime, until you get your energies and your experience, if you feel the need to be working with that type of spirit, have an elder help you out. Have somebody that has the experience show you the way. Because this is something very very serious. So my advice to people is, people that want to work with Lucan Kansi or even the Ndogi spirits, be extremely careful. How you go about it. Remember, Lucan Kansi isn't loyal to anybody. He really is not loyal to anyone. You could be the most devotee person towards him, and eventually he gets tired of you and he goes after you. You have to show him the respect that he deserves. He is not a normal, typical spirit that you think you could summon at will whenever you feel the urge to do some type of job. Like I said, he would turn on you quicker than you can blink an eye. And a lot of people, they forget what they're dealing with. They think it's a normal spirit, and no, you're dealing with a god. So this is how I look at Lukankansi, and like I said before, I'm not claiming to have the absolute truth. I would never claim that. Anybody that you hear claim that, just get up and run fast. That's somebody's ego. Because in this religion, Palo Mayombe and Santeria, for example, there's not one person that could pull off doing the major ceremonies like Palo Mayombe, the scratching. There's no thought that they could do a scratching by himself. In Santeria, there's no Oba Oriate that could do the crowning ceremony by himself. When God created the world, he made sure that he gave a little piece of knowledge to everybody around in order to keep from having a monopoly, to have somebody just supersede everybody else. This is how our religion works. It's not a typical hierarchy like the rest of the religions. And me, for one, I'm grateful for that. So please subscribe, share. Feel free to leave respectable comments. Until next time, this is Tata Tronco Seva. May Nsambi bless you and yours. And Salam Alaikum.